Hi everybody, this is Mike Gerdes from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living with a Sleepy Dog Yoga, bringing you another love note. She's been sleepy a lot lately, probably because of the festivities we had on Father's Day. She got me a nice card, and she got me a nice box of chocolate-covered fruit. It was a wonderful thing. Oh, and then Dr. Maxine bought me this nice shirt. Isn't this awesome? Obviously, it was really cool. And I got some cards and got some texts for people and had a really nice dinner last night at one of our favorite restaurants. And it was very good. And I also had a chance to speak yesterday at another center nearby. And real lovely community, smaller than ours, but they were very sweet. And what I talked about was how it's important for us to love unconditionally. And the truth be known is that most of us just can't do that. Although that's a really nice intention, we can't really do that. But what we can do is love without less judgment. Just judge a little less. Because one of the things I came to aware of is the fact that if I didn't judge people, I wouldn't need to forgive people. How about you? You got people out there that you've been, oh, I don't know if I could forgive them or not. Well, maybe you're judging them. Maybe you don't really know what had been going on in their minds and hearts and lives. You don't know where they were coming from. And by the way, today, you are responsible for your attitudes, feelings, and experiences today. And if you're allowing something from the past to cloud that now, you're the one that's allowing it to, shall we say, mess up the present. Because if you carry resentment from the past to the present, you mess up the present. It's true. And you limit your good. You know, in the parable of the prodigal son, it talks about a younger son running off and spending all of his money in riotous living. I was waiting for a TV series to come out on that one of these days. I'm sure we could catch a lot of episodes of the riotous living. However, I digress. He came to himself, which basically he recognized that what he was doing wasn't working anymore. You know, if we find ourselves engaged in an activity, let's say it's smoking, let's say it's drinking, let's say it's any kind of addictive behavior, or we're taking a behavior being addictive like, which basically means we're doing it even though it's not helping us. We're doing it even though it might be hurting other people. We're doing it even though we know it's wrong. Eventually, if we come to a point where we recognize we just can't do that anymore, then we can start on a pathway to discovery. We can start on a pathway to recovery, which is exactly what that young man did. He came to himself. It's like getting hit in the head with a 2x4 sometimes when we hit that bottom. Because it talks about that when he first hit his bottom, it was because he'd ran out of money, spent it all, was hungry, and noticed there was a famine in the country. Well, there was a famine in the country because he had a famine within his own consciousness. He had a consciousness of lack, and whenever you carry around that consciousness of lack, that's all you're going to experience is lack. All right, so moving on. He was experiencing lack. He came to himself and recognized that he could do something better. But here he was feeding hogs, and he thought that he'd hit bottom. But then he got so hungry that he was eyeing, jonesing, you might say, for the pig slop. Now that's really hitting bottom. And the lesson is if you think you've hit bottom, be careful. You might just be standing on a manhole cover. Because things always can get worse, and they can get better. And we're the ones that allow both to happen, based upon our use of consciousness, our use of the law of mind, our embrace of spiritual principles. So the son turns to go to his father. He's out in a far country, remember? He just turns to go to his father, and the father sees him from a long ways off and runs to him. Now, how could the father see him from a long ways off when he had gone into another country? Well, he did. And what that is symbolic of the fact is all we have to do is turn to God, turn to our higher power, turn to the law, turn to the presence, the divine presence, and it lifts us up. It does for us what we cannot do for ourselves. We don't have to get good enough for God, because through it we realize we already are. We just have to make a new choice. And then you know that stay-at-home son? You know, I'm sure that sometimes a lot of us say, well, you know, I don't run around and get into trouble. I don't overspend. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. And nobody treats me the way he did by throwing up parties and giving him those fine clothing, the best robe, and putting the ring on his finger and all that. How come I don't get any of that? Well, I'll tell you why. You never asked for it. You see, life only gives you what you have the consciousness to accept or receive. What is it that you desire to express in your life? What is it that you desire to really know and embody and celebrate in your life? You have to come to God with an open mind and an open heart and a mental equivalent, an idea of that which you wish to have manifest in your life. Unless you bring it a cup to fill, you get no water. You get no good. So, here we go. Love unconditionally. And make a choice as to what you want to experience in life. And make that demand upon the universe. And it will say yes. And so it is. Bye-bye.